Yeah.
Може? Ама ја го седнам од таа страна, не, хартија од два, за да може и да синкам, а за да може и интернет да пушта. Иначе, па нека дојдат сите, ако не, уште малци.
Па мислам да ќе тако и бити.
Чекај да видам, јас ќе ви кажам.
Ајде.
Ако дојде некој, после ќе си влезат само.
Може.
Hello, everyone. Are we loud enough? I think so. Yeah, so welcome to our presentation for today, Wikipedian in Residence in the Battle for Cultural Heritage. My name is Gorana Gomirac, and I'm GLAM manager at Wikimedia Serbia for like almost 3 years now. But unfortunately, I started just before COVID, so this is like my first opportunity to meet all of you as a GLAM manager, so it's really a pleasure. Thank you for that. And yeah, today I will tell you a little bit more about Wikipedia in Residence with my colleague, board member of Wikimedia Serbia, Marko Adam. So yeah.
Okay. So I will start with a little bit of about what will be table of contents for today, what we'll be speaking about. So at the beginning we will start a little bit of story about Wikimedia Serbia, how we started and how we got here. So after that, it will be a story about our GLAM project and what we are doing in it as a whole. After that, Gorana will speak about our Wikipedian in Residence program and also about tips and tricks that we learn doing the Wikipedian in Residence and what you should do and shouldn't do and what we tried and where we succeeded and where we failed. Okay. So, okay, so first, little bit about Wikimedia Serbia, pardon, and in its full glow. So here is a photo from our Wiki Live, that is a local conference in Belgrade. Okay, so as somebody of you probably know, Wikimedia of Serbia, pardon, started in 2005. As a local chapter, and after that we started getting we started developing the Wikipedia and other projects. We were together and working on some smaller scale, but we grow and grow and grow. And in 2012 there was a need for office and for our first employee, and so we started expanding even more. Now we have 5 employees, yes, 5 employees new, and yes, and 7 board members. So yes, we are located in Belgrade, Serbia, and we are having, you know, a lot more people except from us boards and employees. There are volunteers. There are people who are part of our projects who help us develop our movement. Our 3 biggest Wiki Professor is a part of the it's our accredited service by the Serbian government, in which we held the ways to learn Wikipedia, editing on Wikipedia and about Wikimedia for teachers in Serbian grade schools and in high schools, and help them develop interest in younger students in editing and in working with us. And it's a good base of volunteers for us, because somebody with, let's say, authority to those kids are telling them good things about Wikipedia. And when we in some later grades come with our workshops, they already knows who we are. They learn how to use Wikipedia, what are projects, how to do some stuff on the smaller scale. But later through the project Wiki Student, we help them even bring them on bigger scale. Part of Wiki Student is also Wiki Ambassador. Wiki Ambassadors are students of the faculties that help their colleagues to edit Wikipedia, work with professors, and help them expand articles, create new articles, take some photos, depending on what kind of university or faculty are they on. GLAM project is Galleries, Libraries, Archives, and Museums project. We are improving our accessibility to our heritage, to our museums, to our libraries. We work there with a lot of different kind of people, some technical people, some not so technical. Part of it are we are helping them learn how to edit, learn how to post pictures, learn how to change articles, how to create new ones, and teach them inside, so they can help their colleagues inside the institution after we leave the scene, so they can know how to continue to not just work on Wikipedia, but also help them to know how to use Wikipedia. At our beginnings with the GLAM, there was some small resistance around Wikipedia, as probably a lot of us are encounter every day. Especially in institutions who are afraid that we will take their jobs and everything will go to Wikipedia and nobody would ever go to libraries, to museums, so and stuff like that. So we need to help them to learn how to use it, as well as how to edit Wikipedia. And community support, those are the projects created especially for our community, that they can create and help develop our projects. So they can be taking pictures, they can be editing on specific articles, they can be on some niche themes. There are micro grants, there are larger grants with which we help our volunteers contribute more and more to our projects and develop the stronger sense of editing and helping and creating, and develop through different projects things that they can contribute. So they know if somebody, let's say, doesn't know how to technically write, we can show them that they can, for their beginning, just illustrate some articles that need illustration, or scan some books, on help on different things that are needed in our community. Okay, so let's glam it. Yes, as I said already, we had the first Open GLAM conference in 2012, and after that we started working more and more with our institutions. So at one point we got recognition and help from our Ministry of Culture and Information. With them we worked first on the project of putting the QRpedia codes on some institution in Belgrade that are cultural importance, like National Library, National Museum. So people, when they recognize, the QRpedia recognizes the language and send them to Wikipedia on their preferred language, or English Wikipedia if there isn't article about that building or that location in their own language. So our goal is also decentralization of institution. So not everything needs to be in Belgrade. Our goal is to a lot more cities in Serbia be part of our movement and be part of our glam. So we had in Pirot, in Negotin, in Zaječar, in Novi Sad. In Novi Sad, it was I think one of the oldest theater in Serbia. Give us their pictures. There's some pamphlets of old plays from maybe from a long time ago, and we helped illustrate articles about some famous actors that which we didn't have any kind of pictures. So with that, those articles were expanded, and we had a project that those articles would also expanded in some other languages that our volunteers understood. So how we do our cooperation, we have the editathons, we help them digitalize their things. We have content release, we have Wikipedia in residence, which will be the main part of today's presentation, and we have QRpedia and QR codes, which I already spoke about. So when we go to some institution and somebody gets all the images, all the documents, we don't want for one person to do after that and create articles. We create editathons with specific topics about that museum, that library, that institution. And with that editathons, our goal is to that work that Wikipedian in Residence did doesn't go in vain. They just don't sit in the commons and nobody ever sees it, and when you go to article you still see only one main photo and no books, no documents. The goal is to make the institutions visible and their work be seen, so we help them create the articles. If they don't exist, if they exist, we see how we can illustrate it, how we can add to it, how we can expand it to different languages, especially the languages of Wikipedia. They're close to us languagely. That's probably a better word, but I don't know it. Yes, so we can all have so we can use that part of the data all together. And if you go to your article in your language and see that there isn't no images and it's about Serbia or about something that is close to our heritage, you can find probably some images about that and help your article in your languages be more illustrated, be better with the sources and a lot more. Okay, so this is a little bit of our accomplishment. So we have more than 4,000 articles written and improved in Serbian Wikipedia, 12,000 files and over 1,000 books. One of the book is well, for me, it's very interesting. That's I think it's a first written book about medicine and law in Europe. It's the oldest book about medicine and law in Europe, and it's on some, I think it's in a lot of articles. I can't remember who wrote it now, but it was really interesting for me. We have cooperation with more than 50 institutions, and we are continuing to work with our institution, and we want to expand our knowledge. So, Gorana.
Okay, well, first, thank you very much, Marko, for presenting Wikimedia Serbian GLAM program very well. Thank you. And now we are going to talk a little bit more about Wikipedian in Residence. So basically, that is the project we are very, very proud of, and we are going to take a look at it to see what's going on. So this project, we are doing it since 2014, so for 8 years now. I have been coordinator for 3 years, and I think I have a little bit of experience to talk about it. And this is the project that we are, we have a two-way cooperation with cultural institutions. We hire an experienced Wikipedia or Wikimedia Commons editor, and we hire them to work to increase content on wiki projects related to that cultural institutions, and just to make Wikipedia and wiki projects better, more reliable, because we have great literature, we have great content. Let's make it better. Let's put it on Wiki project because everyone using Wikipedia now. And what are responsibilities of Wikipedia in residence? So first of all, digitization of content. That means if you have some amazing photos of, for example, National Theatre, let's use them. Let's illustrate articles. Let's put them either on Creative Commons or if there is like if they're publicly. So let's use that. Let's improve articles. Let's digitize some books. Let's put it on Wikimedia Commons or other wiki projects. Then we are increasing content on Wikipedia and Wikimedia Commons and of course Wikidata. So we started editing Wikidata recently in Wikipedia in residence because it's very important. You know, we are trying to increase it and we're trying to improve it. We are writing articles. We are writing about cultural institutions. We are writing about some topics that are very important for that cultural institutions, about some books, about some biographies. So everything that is important, everything that now we have a literature that it was not there before, we can write about it. We have workshops as well. So what does it mean? We want, after this project is over, it can last for 1 month. The biggest one, the longest one was at Belgrade City Library. It lasted for 6 months. And we want cultural institution to be independent after this project. What does it mean? It means that we have workshops with employees of, for example, library or museum or any other institution that know how to edit Wikipedia after our project. They know how to use it. They know how to post some important files on Wikimedia Commons and how to edit on Wikidata, for example. So we want them to be independent, and that's why this project is very, very important. First of all, we are like making a big picture of cultural institution, and then we are making it more independent to work on wiki projects. Of course, Wikipedia in residence is like a link between Wikimedia Serbia and institutional culture. So we don't know what institutional culture has before we start this project. We have no idea. We can know a little bit about it, but we don't know. So when they start this project, they can finally see, okay, maybe we started with one goal, but now we are changing it. We are seeing some amazing photos, let's do it. So they can just lead the project. Maybe they can change a goal. Instead of writing more articles, they are putting more photos or something like that. So they are linked between us, between wiki projects and of course cultural institution. Oh, sorry. And now, how are we doing that? So first we are choosing cultural institution. Maybe that can be a recommendation from some of our volunteers, and maybe we can try to make a cooperation. Or we are making some research on wiki projects, for example, Serbian Wikipedia or Wikimedia Commons, or we are trying to see where is the lack of content, what do we need on wiki projects, and then we are trying to make a cooperation. We are, of course, contacting like institutions of culture in Serbia. We are trying to make that first step. Sometimes they make first step towards us, but that is a little bit of rare situation, unfortunately. So we are trying to make that first step. Sometimes this can take a long period of time because we have to choose wisely because our funds are limited, of course, and we just need to be wise in this step. Next one, we are choosing Wikipedia in residence. First of all, we are trying to take a look at our database of volunteers and Wikipedia editors or some other editors and try to see if there is appropriate candidate for this role. So we are trying to, for example, if I know some great editor on Wikipedia, I will approach them. I will ask them, okay, so we have this, I hope, amazing project. Are you interested in doing that? So we try to communicate with community as well. We are trying to approach editors. We are trying to tell them, okay, we see you, we know you're doing a great job. Now let's work together. Let's try to be better together. This, of course, is when we have appropriate candidate. sometimes we don't have it, and sometimes we have to choose, we have to hire someone else who doesn't know about Wikipedia that much, but then we have a lot of workshops, a lot of meetings, and they are well known about Wikimedia projects after that, but we are just trying to be wise here and to choose someone from our community and our volunteer database. After that, after we choose institution, after we choose Wikipedian in residence, then we start on preparation of the project, and this can be challenging, of course, because when we make cooperation, the institution of culture understands everything, but when it starts, they realize, oh God, we were not aware of that, and we are trying to avoid that in preparation of the project. So we are trying to prepare the content that Wikipedian in residence will work on, like all the books, photos, materials they will use. So we are just trying to prepare that, so when Wikipedian in residence starts, they have all the content and they can work on. This can take for a month. For example, now we have a Wikipedian in residence and Faculty of Drama Arts in Belgrade. Preparation was from November last year, I think, so almost a year. So this can take a lot of time as well. And the last one is let's start, and let's see how it's going to be. Let's see how we are going to improve, and let's see how we are going to change when it starts. So, So, here are some tips and tricks we learned. So we are doing this project for 8 years, and we did some really horrible things, like we made some mistakes, but I think we are doing some good job now. So when the project starts, first task is to make a Wikipedia page about that project. On that page, we have every article that is written, improved, illustrated. We have linked Wikimedia Commons. So we are trying to have everything on that page, and we share that page with cultural institutions, we share that page with our community, we share that page with everyone who is interested to see it, so they can always take a look at it to see what's going on, where we are at, what we have done, and what's going on actually. After that, we put all of our contact either on Wikipedia, Wikimedia Commons, or other wiki projects. Sometimes institutions of culture in Serbia, they are not that, let's say, they maybe don't have enough funds. So we are giving them equipment to digitize content, like some printers, scanners, and so on. We are just trying to give them equipment, or maybe some photographs, or something like that, to help them do their job. So sometimes we are giving them equipment as well, but we see that before project. We photograph institution of culture and some very important things around them, because most of the time we don't have photographs of, for example, of some gallery or something like that. We are doing that as well. We do have a lot of workshops with them. We have like a Creative Commons licenses workshop, which is very important because sometimes they have no idea what are Creative Commons, unfortunately, but we have to teach them on how to use Wikimedia Commons, what are Creative Commons licenses, how to use them, how to use Wikipedia. Like, that's not article there by itself. Someone had to wrote it. So we are just trying to teach them how to use Wikipedia, how to take a look at the references, and what they can do to improve wiki projects. Of course, we have reports. So Wikipedian in residence is writing reports to us and reports to Institution of Culture to update us and them on what's going on, if they have some troubles or not, and just to update us about the project. And these are the results we have achieved by now. I think the number I'm most proud of is the fact that we digitized over 1,200 books. I think that is a very important number because we gave a lot of our time to do that, and now you can find some really amazing books on Wikimedia Commons, and they are really, really amazing. And of course, we had some problems or challenges, how do we call it? So of course, sometimes when we start the project, there is some problem that occurs. Nothing is perfect, neither is this project. So we are trying to improve it every day. We are trying to improve it by every project. We had like 37 projects this far, so we are still learning, but I think we have learned a lot. And one of the biggest challenges that we approach in this project, because we're actually hiring some person to come to institutional culture, and I think other employees are a little bit afraid, like, are they going to steal our job? They are doing some really good things, like maybe they are better at digitizing than us, so what are we going to do? So they have faced some troubles with employees. Employees sometimes they don't understand. You make cooperation with the director of the institution, you don't make cooperation with curator or someone else at cultural institutions, so we faced that problem, that employees that Wikipedian in residence had to work with, they don't understand it. They just don't, they don't want to work with Wikipedia in residence. So we had a lot of troubles with that. But now we are trying to improve it by having meetings with employees from cultural institutions to try to explain them that we are not taking their job, we are not stealing anything, we are just putting it on Wikimedia projects. And that's what we're trying to do actually every time we make cooperation. We had some really bad remarks from our community because sometimes when we don't have appropriate candidate from our volunteer database, we hire someone new. That means I have a workshop, like a very a long workshop, and with Wikipedia in residence, I teach them how to edit, I teach them everything about licenses, project, everything. But they are new, and it's hard for community to accept them, because like you're being paid, you're being hired to edit this, we are doing it because we love it, so you're not like a right person to do this job. So we had like some bad remarks from our community. But they have noticed, and I think it is much better situation now because they have noticed that we are doing right thing for our culture. We are doing something that is good. We have right literature, we have like a good content, and we are just trying to improve it. We are doing something good for Wikimedia projects. And yeah, so now the situation is better, but if you approach that issue, you just need to have a lot of patience. So you just need to communicate with community better. You're trying to give them everything. You're trying to involve them into project, and that's why we are trying to bring volunteers into, like Wikipedia editors, into this project to, like, see that we're to show them that we really do care about them and that we really want them to work with us, and we want them. Like we all want to make Wikimedia projects better, so that is like our main goal. So these problems had led to discouragement. Some Wikipedians in residence actually stopped editing Wikimedia projects after this project because they felt like they are not welcome to Wikipedia and other projects because of the community. But as I told you, just have a lot of patience and try to involve them maybe one more time or something like that, to involve them into more projects and to show them that they are welcome, that we are all working on one thing and we are all working here on that thing to improve it and to improve our cultural heritage. Of course, they had a lack of motivation to continue editing, but as I said, we are trying to involve them more into this project and then to show them that they are welcome and they had to, I mean, not they had to, but they are welcome to edit and to contribute even after this project ends. And as I said, I think the most important thing here is to have a lot of patience, to have a good communication, to have, like I said, patience, to have a good communication with editors. So just try to understand them, because they, like Wikipedians in residence, are being paid to do that because it's like a full-time job for some period of time, and Wikipedia editors are most of the time like volunteers, and that's a volunteering job. And of course, you have to prepare well and assume the best intention, because even if you get like a bad remarks about something, it is because they just want to keep Wikipedia, for example, safe, and they maybe don't want to share it that much, but at least at the end we are doing something good for our cultural heritage and good for our community as well. So just have a lot of patience, if you have any question about this project, like we have been doing it for 8 years now, maybe we can help. Maybe we can help with the community of editors. Maybe we can help with any questions. So if you have any question now, I'm very happy to answer, yeah? Just is it turned on?
But now it is.
Yeah, it's good.
So thank you very much. Now that you've been doing amazing work there, it seems. I was very interested, and I would like to hear more about the part you put some emphasis of sustainability of this effort. You said that you are putting, you want the institutions to be independent, so to say. You want the institutions to be, to be able to do things on Wiki afterwards, beyond the duration of the residency. I am wondering on how, what is it, like, how would you evaluate? What are your thoughts about this? Does this work? And with what criteria do you evaluate after the residency, whether this is happening or not?
Yeah, so sometimes the project we are doing, for example, we approach cultural institution. Let's say it's first time Wikipedian residents there, and they see like, okay, 2 months is not enough for us to do anything on wiki projects. So they want to repeat maybe that project after. So for example, we had some institutions that we had Wikipedian residents for more than once. And that is the way we start, and we try to like do most of the things that exist at that cultural institution at that time. But of course, we have workshops with employees, at least 2 employees at the cultural institution, so they can add it after this project ends. Sometimes they fall in love with Wikimedia world and they add it on their own. Sometimes they don't, but they realize, okay, Wikipedia is very important today, we have to edit it, so they contribute something related to their work. So maybe they're not doing like 10 articles per week, but if something important happens, they know how to add that to their article, they know how to post something, so they will contribute that. Sometimes they contact us, or for example, they say, oh, that person is not working at our museum anymore, can you please make another workshop? So maybe they are not doing like 10 articles per week, but they know how to add important stuff about their work. So that's what we're doing. And we don't have more time for questions, but please, if you have any question, contact us. I will be more than happy to help you. And thank you very much for listening. It was a pleasure.
So hi, my name is Ivo Kruusamägi and I'm from Estonia. And today I'm going to talk a bit about the science photo competition. So let's see how the slides work. Excellent. So, in principle, there are many ways where we can collect materials to Wikipedia. There are many different materials, many topics. Like yesterday, I gave a presentation, actually 2, about collecting art. And some of those topics, like previously, like working with museums, so those kind of things get maybe more attention. But at the same time, what we want in the Wikipedia is all of diversity. And we want to have all fields of life to be represented, and from different eras. Is it modern? Is it not so modern? And science. that's one of the really sort of important parts of human culture. And if you look at where do Wikipedians come from, then a lot of Wikipedians are actually students in university or are teaching in university. And just like art is something that's very fundamental to human understanding, something that humans really want to do, so is science. But let's go further with this introduction. Education. In Estonia, our education program mainly started in 2010. This is the first years of it, mainly because, I mean, in the recent years I have not been that interested to collect the statistics. And it's getting harder and harder to make sure that the statistics themselves are correct. So I'm sticking with the years where the numbers are kind of correct. Highest bar you can see are about 600 articles written by university students. So yeah, we have started, when we started this chapter, education was one of the very first things, and mainly education related to the work in universities. This is one of those examples about getting university students to write those articles. At the same time, as I was previously talking about diversity, then, well, there are many ways to contribute. And if you get the university students to write the articles, well, they are not the only people in the university. So again, if you put those two things together, we combine it, this is where the Wiki Science competition comes from. Just to have more diversity, have more ideas about ways to approach those people. Yeah, there is also something more. Maybe you have some images. Maybe you're not maybe ready to write a very long, detailed article. Maybe you don't have time. You're already, I don't know, writing something to Nature, and it's your second revision, and your time is running out. So Wikipedia is somewhere behind, but it doesn't take that much time to add images that you already have. And we have a lot of lack of those images in those scientific articles, and there are a lot of scientific topics that Wikipedia covers. And even in the name, when I go that maybe a bit later, then this Wiki Science competition kind of takes away this photography part. There are several reasons for that I will go there later, but again, mainly still today is a photography competition, but even in there, we'd like to expand it further and use that as a tool to engage more of the people in universities. Now, as for, just to give some understanding of this competition, because that might be important in this understanding, and also many of you maybe have not really participated there, maybe I don't have seen it. We don't have that many countries actively participating. In the last time, it's held once in 2 years, in the odd number years. So in the previous year, for instance, we had 7 categories. We have kept on adding 1 category every year, or every time. And there are different categories. This is one of the oldest, first ones, people in science. This is again one of those topics. We have maybe many, in some Wikipedia versions, maybe not so many articles on scientists, but those articles are often without an image. At the same time, if you look at the public perception of what a scientist is, they have often seen some images of old scientists who are, I don't know, getting some prizes. But main part of the scientists are actually young, but we just don't see it visually because those images are not shared. Or the same part, we don't see those images of scientists in their everyday life, in their way where they're actually doing the work. We are only seeing when they maybe receive some prize somewhere. So again, this is something that's really important for us to also collect to Wikipedia. Or microscopy. Again, one of these is something that's so fundamentally linked to, if we talk about scientific photography, then what people actually mean by it often is this microscopy images. So obviously we have that. But it's just not only that, because science, well, science is done by absolutely everything, so it's kind of Wiki allows everything, and we are not really trying to limit the participation here. What we also have, I think, is really interesting that should be replicated more in the Wikimedia world, is actually those like from the early days, we have started collecting this basically images that are not images. So it's like computer-generated stuff, videos, audio files, so on. There is a separate category for it because we can't really compare it to anything else. And in most cases, videos have one. This is one of the, actually, when we look at how many videos there are in Commons, this is one of the places where a lot of early featured videos are actually coming from. And again, this is something that I think Wikimedia Commons should really pay way more attention to. And also, what we have there is image sets. For instance, this competition itself started back in 2011 in Estonia as an Estonian science photo competition. That was the official name. Or in Estonian, teadusfoto. So in Estonian, it's way shorter than in English. But what actually happened there was that already in the first year, jury decided that actually it's a set of images that we are going to give the award, because this set was so much better than whatever individual image. And on the second year, we already like put it into two sections, and later on just got to the point that, well, one of the image categories just has to be sets. And this is again something that's somewhat different. We haven't seen this in other maybe image competitions in Wikimedia, because what really bothers me is that so much of these image competitions are based on Wikilaus monuments. But this is just one way of doing image competitions. And I mean, even this competition, they're basically like the first competition of teadusfoto, that was held in August to October in 2011. So it's roughly started at the same time as Wikilaus monuments, and they actually had one thing even a year before. So I have to write different things in Estonia, and I think that works way better of getting the diverse crowd of photographers, because not everyone is interested in science photography or actually has access to it. What else? Wildlife and nature is the newest addition in the categories, just because there were so many wildlife and nature images for kind of obvious reasons, but that's one of the reasons why we put it separately. Some of there are also like some of the winning images from the previous years. And what else? Astronomy, that's also one of those newer additions, because there was like a lot of astronomy images. And what's there, the seventh category so far on this seventh event of science competition was this general category. That is basically everything else that does not fit under the previously mentioned categories. Of course, for some of the images that could fit to, let's say you can have a set of microscopic images, or you can have a new video about some scientist talking about something, or of course, there is some overlap, but this is for the jury to decide what's the best of it. And who is actually participating? So this map there is for the last competition. CEE region is really heavily presented, and if we look at the biggest countries, Russia definitely is like the highest performing country. Ukraine has been active from the very early beginnings and they have a lot of images from Ukraine. Poland has been more active in recent times. We also have several other countries, but also some regions are kind of missing, like Western Europe is kind of missing, Latin America is kind of missing, and etc. So if you see like your country is not really represented there, that's your option. Do it. Like in Estonia, I have been the only person organizing it in Estonia, and still it's well enough just for one person to do it, just already get the images. You don't need to have a very big team. You don't need to do this work like with Wikilaus monuments. You need to assemble, get the coordinates of the monuments or anything. What you need to do is actually just to engage those people in the universities. You need to promote it. That's the main focus. And I think Wikipedians specifically need to learn more about how to do a good promotion. And I think this is something that could easily help it, because that's really engaging. If the promotion is not good, you're not going to get a lot of images. So this is really when this is shown. And there's also like some statistics. Of course, this is like, I mean, this official page of statistics. We do have some numbers missing. For instance, like Russia is missing. And some of the statistical numbers, they have a lot of images, but it's just that the category structure is different. So these tools currently under Wikimedia are not showing few of the categories there, but in reality the numbers are slightly bigger, specifically in more recent years. What else? What's actually interesting is that in 2015 I also, like, for instance, plotted different countries. As for this participation, like in Wikilaus Monuments, you can't really participate from your country if you don't have local team. Well, at Wikilaus Science, in this sense, we just don't have it. We have uploading possibilities for everyone from every country. It's just that if there is local team, there is someone to actually promote it and get better results. So, I mean, it's a bit hardly visible, but those red dots there, this is number of images per capita. So I have looked at the different countries, what's their population, how many images we got from there. Actually, there is one more dot, that's Macedonia, even higher. Estonia is the highest dot there, and there are the others. Those are in 2015. Per number of images per capita, and also the blue ones are the ones where we mainly just had one banner occasionally. So you can see that actually already the banner generates some content if there is nothing else at all. It's just that the average difference is roughly 6 times. But again, it's perfectly possible to collect images even from countries where there is actually just only the possibility to upload, but there is no one actually promoting it. And this is also something that we might maybe want to use in more and more competitions. And then you are also asking, like, probably results, like, okay, scientific images, like, I am not very sure about what they actually are. This is our so far most successful year, pictures of the year in the Commons. That in recent years has been a bit difficult for this sort of competition to take place. But in, for instance, 2018, this is the top 3. The second one has no connection to none of the competitions whatsoever in Wikimedia. It was just one wiki photographer, I think. But the first one and the third one are from this science photo competition. So far our most successful year. Of course, this was, as you can see, this was images collected from previous years. But yeah, those have actually had a lot of, again, featured images, a lot of highly valued images. It just happens. What else? As I mentioned, that we are trying to expand it. As in 2015, I mean, first I had it in Estonia as a Estonian science photo competition, but then it's like, technically it's not that difficult to make it a European competition. So in 2015 it was made into European science photo competition. And already there some countries were asking that, well, I'm from Egypt, but it's kind of close to Europe, so can I participate? And well, there is when the renaming, well, they took place, and in 2017 it was Wiki Science competition. But why so ambiguous name is because, well, I was like, okay, I already renamed it once. I don't want to do it once more, so let's just have more vague names so we can put more stuff under it in the future. That's the reason why it doesn't have, let's say, photography in it, and also for the fact that we are collecting videos. And one of those additions, like, I mean, there are countries like Russia that has done it, for instance, like every year. They're like so big country, they can do it. In Estonia, I tried in the first years to do it every year, but I mean, I had like a response fast from people that I'd like to participate, but I mean, in the last year, I wasn't specifically doing new images, so I just didn't have anything to upload. So we took this approach about having this competition once in every 2 years. And now one of those things that I've added there in Estonia is this, now it's also coming back in this November, about article competition themed around science. And this is just there to expand it and make it sure that we have like all this cross-referencing. Like people may notice this competition and, oh, there's also a photography competition, or vice versa. Just adding more of those things and having those cross-references that one thing helps to promote the other. And even in this year, for instance, all of the prize fund comes from Estonian Ministry of Education and Research, so we're actually, it has zero cost for us, and we have a very high, big prize fund for it. As even the ministry is interested to actually have those terms, like specifically in the science, everyone, like all the articles are written in English. But at the same time, how can we actually talk about those topics in Estonian if you don't have those terms written down somewhere, so that the ordinary people or even scientists themselves can figure out that, oh, this thing that I know very well in English, that's the official word for it in Estonian. So that's one of the reasons why even the minister is interested to promote scientific languages, or like getting this coverage better in Estonian. And this is also one of those examples about this cross-referencing, like how can we get someone interested into something to promote this further, to get more of the scientific content into Wikipedia. And obviously there, of course, we can't have it that much of internationally, like we can't maybe compare articles written in Estonian to, let's say, articles written in Polish. So that's not the goal, but it's just that under this umbrella, every country themselves can add more and more of the stuff that they themselves want to do. Or for instance, they are also added like some additional categories or remade the categories. For instance, like in the first years in Estonia, where just the only thing that we were awarding was the best science photographer of the year. And in later years, we are awarding for every image category, we are giving out award. At the same time, we are awarding a title. And there no award, but a title of the best science photographer. Usually the person who has like, I don't know, won maybe in one category and got some high-ranking images in other categories or something like that usually. So again, we are giving out this title of the best science photographer of the year, and that's also one of the possibilities. And even in there, if you think that, okay, maybe we will not collect that many images in astronomy, but there does not need to be those categories locally. It's just only for an international evaluation. And also, it's just 1 week from now, we are going to present the results of worldwide results of the previous year's winners. Yeah, I've had some delays on it, but yeah, we are working on it, and so the official results of 2021 worldwide are going to be published roughly a year from now, a week from now. But for the countries who would like to participate in the next time, well, you have up to September to let me know that you're interested. You don't actually need a budget, because if you're collecting the images, the main image collecting period is from 1st November to 15th of December. Some countries extend it to, let's say, but I mean, people during Christmas usually don't add that many images. Yeah, unfortunately. So that's the possibility there, so that actually if you're going to award the local winners, it's likely going to happen in January. Therefore, again, you don't need a budget for the next year. You can just say that, oh yeah, we are participating, we are actively promoting this thing. Or also, you can also have the opportunity of having some more suitable month from you, like Russia has done it, because they have had some great cooperation with some local organizations that had helped with prizes and everything, so they have done it like in a different month. It's also okay, we just need stuff for the local results in January. And we hope that the next time it's the May when the international winners will be announced. And of course, there are many, many small details that go for it, mainly about the promotion, how to do it well. You can also talk to me about it. I have many ideas how you can engage your local people in universities. Just maybe this image is there to capture it. Like this is one of the submissions for the science photo competition. That's a 3D printed castle on the top of a pencil. So again, there's like a lot of those small nuances that might be good to know, but that are not maybe suitable for a presentation of 30 minutes. And also, we are welcoming people if you will want to join us in the international team. Join us, let's make this competition even bigger. Let's add more and more countries. Let's have more stuff under it, make sure that actually science is better covered in Wikipedia. And scientists and what they do, how they look like. And also get them to write those Wikipedia articles, get them to understand how this thing works. And there under it, you can see the wikisciencecompetition.org. That's the official website of the competition. Just check it, and there's a lot of information about this. So I hope to see a lot of CE countries participating in the upcoming competition next year. And maybe now you have some questions. Yeah, Chris.
Hi, Ivo. Thanks for your presentation on the WikiScience competition. I wanted to ask a little about what support systems or procedures were available for contributors wanting to provide other kinds of media. So you were talking a lot about how you were able to support people to contribute audio or video or other more unusual kinds of media to be included in competitions and then incorporated into Wikimedia projects. And I understand that sometimes the conversion processes around certain files and kinds of formats can be quite challenging. Would you be able to describe what support you might have been able to provide to participants wanting to contribute these kind of less common kinds of media to Commons for the purposes of the program?
Yes, that's a very good question. Also, just to point out some of the ways we are looking more people into international team who can help out with specifically this thing, because this indeed is really challenging, specifically on uploading this. There are many questions about it. We are providing, for instance, some people just even directly write to me, some participants from some, whatever, Chile or something, like, I would like to upload this, how to do it. And of course, there are some challenges, even like what actually are those file formats supported in Commons. There are some restrictions, like how old the user account needs to be. So this is actually one of the reasons, something we can't really tackle without maybe help from Wikimedia Foundation. And also there's like one of the reasons why it would be very beneficial to have someone locally that can help and provide the support as international team is relatively thin on this. Of course, there are maybe not that many people who are uploading videos or that, and because a lot of these submissions in that category are also like computer-generated files and stuff like that. For instance, like in this year in Russia, we got like some 3D renderings of coronavirus. But again, this is just as an image, as a JPG or PNG or something like that. So there is no question. So there's a relatively small subset, but of course for us it's hard to identify. Are we actually getting to everyone? Because yeah, we are helping some of the people to do it, but we don't know who are the people who are not maybe asking about this, who maybe just struggled and did not find out like there is actually a way to do it. And there we are a bit in the dark, so we will really welcome if there's someone to help us more into this. Any more questions? So okay, thank you for you listening to this, and I hope that next time there's a lot more cutters in the blue section. Thank you.
Don't be shy to come closer. If you're interested in the topic, please come to us, because we would like to talk more and maybe to discuss some of the questions we have, because we are starting the whole project, and we would really much appreciate your closer impact. So I personally would like to have you closer, but anyone who wants to stay behind, it's totally fine. But if you are not against it, please come and sit closer to us. Thank you very much. So good afternoon. Thank you that you came to our session. My name is Klára Joklova, and this is my colleague. My colleague Honza, Jan Groch. Jan is our chair, the chair of Wikimedia Czech Republic. I'm our ED. I am not the one who is responsible for this project we will be presented. That's our colleague Eva Vele, and her contact is at the end of the presentation. Before we start, can you briefly just say maybe name and where are you from, that we, all of us, would be familiar with it? Andrew, can you start, please?
Claudia from Romania.
Christos from the Wikimedia Deutschland and from Greece.
From Greece, great.
Marko, Wikimedia Serbia.
Nada, Croatia.
Ivan from Estonia.
Rita from Kosovo.
Iki from Wikimedia Czech.
Someone from Albania.
Ukraine.
Me from mostly from Croatia.
Jan from Macedonia, Sharnovic. Chris from the United States.
Didn't I miss anyone? Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Can you raise your hand, anyone who ever heard about ICOM, International? Perfect. Have you ever read or listened about red lists that ICOM revealed? Perfect. Thank you very much. That's for the start, and I'm giving the word to Honza.
Right. Hi. Thanks to Clara for a brief introduction. I'm Jan Groch Honza. I'm chair of the board of Wikimedia Czech Republic. And the first word I want to say, I'm really happy that he's so many people from this region because this presentation will be focusing on you because the project that we are starting, and we would like to ask you to be part of it if you will be interested, is just about this region where we are right now. So excellent to have you here. And let's go. What we will be talking about? We will be talking about a new project that we are just started. And this project is about sharing the informations about the red lists which are made by ICOM, by International Committee of Museums. And this project is for them is a long term. But there is the thing that it's new is a cooperation with Wikimedias, with local chapters, and this should help and should spread the idea about the red lists and in the end to help to protect the cultural heritage around the region and later around the globe. So we are right in the beginning. That's the thing why we are asking you for active participation. If you will don't understand something, just ask. If you will have an idea, just raise your hand, or don't raise your hand, just shout, and we will talk about it. It's not a full presentation. It's a more workshop. We are open to all of your questions and all of the stuff that you want to share with us. And that's it from me, from a beginning, from a brief introduction, and I will give a word to Clara, and let's go through the slides.
I just want to explain how this happens, that Wikimedia Czech Republic runs the project for South and East Europe. Because ICOM organized the global conferences. And this year the conference was in Prague, and we as Wikimedia was asked if we can hold a session there, and just like to tell about how Wikimedians, how Wikipedia can preserve the art that it's threatened by art trafficking. This was the initial question I was slightly confused, but then ICOM revealed the project that has been done in Afghanistan by Wikimedia Switzerland. Some of you are nodding the head, so you probably know. And we just found it amazing that we actually can do this kind of job, and that Wikimedians and Wikipedians around the world can preserve this, like in the conflict threatened art, or in any other way, by the smuggling, by illegal trafficking, and this is really possible. What they explained to me was that, you know, when this piece of item goes through custom, the police doesn't have information enough. They don't know if this is okay or not, and they are searching for information. And what ICOM is doing, they're actively contacting the police and the custom and teach them and give them the sources where they can find for information. And the source is the public source, which means Wikipedia and Wikimedia Commons. So just instead of to have this one presentation or one workshop, we, in a very short period of time, few weeks, actually, we created this project together. And we just want to bring this to the region, because with a CEE meeting ahead, we just find it as this might be a good start, and or at least a good chance to address you here if you would be interested in participation in this kind of project. And this is the beginning, and I ask Jan if he can tell more about red lists.
So about the red lists are lists of artworks, pieces of work that sometimes they are really saying this is exactly right, this painting which is protected. That's one possibility how the red list looks like. Then there is a second possibility, and it's like a bunch of paintings, like these wall, I don't know what kind of a painting or whatever it is, they are protected if they were created in this time, in this area. So we cannot say only that and that one is protected. Sometime yes, sometime no. So red lists are lists that are helpful for identifying the pieces of art that are protected based on a place where they created and based on an age when they were created. So this is doing our work a little bit more difficult, because we cannot take a red list and upload it somewhere. We have to think more about it, and we need professionals who are able to identify the exact pieces that are protected, and to give the information about these works to Wikipedia, upload to Commons, upload everywhere. And then the third part, as Clara says, is about identifying from custom officers, from police, and these people are the third part, and these are just reading our information that we published. And so the Wikipedia is the middle piece of this project, and as whole Wikipedia works, it's a place where we can share this information. So this is studied of a Wikipedia in this project. Do you want to be more concrete about the lists?
About just the information for you, that you can see the red list for Southeast European cultural objects at risk in the right left corner, and this is actually the newest one. For the others, they as well create the concrete web page where you can find a list of these items or areas, and this could be connected better. For this list, it doesn't exist yet. ICOM is working on it actually. The other thing what they are working on actually is specific red list just for Ukraine, but we are with them. We talking about the fact that even Ukraine can be part of our project in several ways now, because it doesn't really matter, right? Who does what. So. So that's the information, and as Jan said, the areas which are covered in the red list, that mean, for example, all the coins from the 4th century from Armenia are protected. This what makes it harder. That's why we need to have you and to have your local experts, because we need to address the experts from museums, the people who work with art, the people from universities, to help us to define and describe the right objects. Because what Wikipedians can do, it's to write an article about certain piece of cake, but to write an article about cakes in general, it's much more complicated, especially according to this, which you need some special expertise. But I think still Wikipedians are quite good in searching for sources and in connecting and pointing out the specific pictures or articles. And just to, we will get to that, I think, in a minute. So, good for now.
So here is a list of countries that are on a new, just released in red list that we are going to work with. I shared a picture to a Telegram group, so if you want to go to it later and yeah, go to it later, you can. It's in a Telegram, and if you are, and this is a call for action, if you are a person from one of these countries or some countries even around, like, and you're interested in, let's get in touch with us and let's talk what, how you can help to the project. There is many ways how to help. Clara will be more exact in the next slides. I just want to say, like, who are the key persons that we need for the collaboration. The key persons are us, Wikimedians, people working for the chapters, because we can be a contact persons, we can be organizers, we can help to this projects locally happen. We can get in. We have a lot of, in our GLAM cooperations, we have a lot of contacts, and we can use them. So this is an important role for us as a Wikimedians. Then there is an important role for us as a Wikipedians, people who will help to edit, who will provide information about the edit and how to do it, help to the professionals. So this is another key person that we need. And the third one, and the most important one, are the experts from the museums. So we need contact persons in the museums, people who are experts in this field, who can recognize the pieces of artworks. Because we as a Wikimedians, or me personally, I'm unfortunately unable to do that. So we need to collaborate on this with museums in the region. And as far as we have a feedback from Czech Republic, from the ICOM conference, people from museums are really interested in this way of a collaboration, because they can feel that they can protect the heritage. And that's the message of this program. And yeah, I'm sorry.
Before we move on, I do have two questions. First one is, my previous understanding of the red list was that they were more or less exhaustive. Is this the case, or they're just generic, like, guidances and so on? Because I'm looking at Southeastern Europe and it's quite small. And the second question is, when you say work with the museums, work with the specialists, will Wikimedia Czech Republic or the ICOM help with contacts and so on?
As I understood the ICOM approach, because I spoke with the lawyers who created the red list, their approach is not to go to like taxative definition of objects. They want to really, because it can on as well means the threat to this specific object. If you listed it in the red list, it can means that it's more threatened by. There's a chance that someone will steal. That's why their approach is to be generous, or like, do I use it right? Generous, generic. Thanks, generic, and not to do this list. That's why the red list for CEE looks like smaller, but that's why we need your special expertise. For example, I'm social worker, sorry, but Eva, our GLAM manager, it's educated in art, and she perfectly knows what does this mean. That's why I think we need, or no, I think I'm quite sure that we need your expertise and your experts, because there is definitely the way how to. And I'm quite sure that anyone who's in any way interested here can find his own way. If you express your interest in the project, doesn't mean that you are obliged to do something on a regular basis, or we will we will contact you every week and force you to do some kind of project with your community. But we will know that you want the information from us, and we will ask you what you're interested in. Because there can be anything. There can be like the volunteer from the States who knows that he can sit down and find the information, and who can add the hashtag that I will mention later, or who would just add the information to certain article that this item is on the specific red list. Because this is as well everything what puts this together. But I'm not sure if this reply is this the answer to your question.
I think we can, maybe your presentation will cover it later, but I think the scope of the project is unclear to me at this point.
Yes. That's for sure, because there's the scope, there's the vision about preserve, but how to get there, there can be many ways. What I know that the ICOM is highly interested in our help. They ask for our help. They're willing to help us on their level, on the national level as well. That means to contact you with your local ICOM, because there can be one, that there can be an office or the person who's responsible for your country or for the country of your interests. And then they, and I don't know neither. I think we have the experts in Czech Republic who can't be here, who are taking care of the project, and they're Wikipedians, they're Wikidators, they know. I'm just like here to gain you all. And then I think there will be some like kind of working group with sharing the information and try to find a way how to, because I really believe there is a lot of possible ways. I will cover them later. So this reflects to your other question, if we can create a contact, further contact for you.
I will give you a really brief answer. We have a strong vision. We know our mission, but we don't know the exact steps. That's something that we are talking to you. That's why I tell that it's a workshop, and we can talk about it now or later. Exactly.
It's relative. I replied to the question. It's relatively flexible, and it can. There can be, and you can even be quite independent. If you want just to be your work to be tracked, you just use the hashtag tool in the reviewing of your editation, and that's it. You will know that something is happening here. But if we don't need it. We just need your contribution in any way. But this is helpful for us as organizers. Yes, let's go. So what can Wikimedia do to protect cultural heritage? This is the field where I need your expertise. And these are the possible steps that we listed here. First is quite maybe surprising, but this is the approach your local auction houses. The pictures from red lists are not public domain. They can't be listed and they can't be displayed on Wikipedia and on Commons because they was released just for red list, unfortunately. But that's the fact. But we can. Yes, but we can't take the picture that was done by ICOM and put it online because they doesn't have because it's like they had the deal locally with the local museum and they didn't cover this.
But the local museum is mislicensing because unless they are registered as artists, and they are usually registered as documentarists, it's not creative work. It's lithographic.
I think that this is a much longer conversation.
Yeah.
And I fully understand your point of view, and I'm strongly supporting it, of course. It's point of view of all of us Wikipedians, of course.
Yeah. So, but this is the information we have so far. We can work on that later as well. But auction houses, surprisingly, have very often in hands that they have the piece of work that could be listed, and from them to gain the pictures can be a nice like glam cooperation for you in the term, and most of them can be, or some of them can be used for red list. This would be under further discussions because I'm not expert on this field, but as Eva wrote here, all of that sharing information that goes to actions that being sold because they are as well threatened. The items that was sold already, they are still threatened for trafficking. So this is they are obviously the most threatened items at all because they were displayed, they are known, and that's why it's not just auction houses, but it's just as well the owners of the work that you can approach and ask them to like through the search for works. So it's like search for reproductions or privately owned works, professional publication, and write articles, of course, about these items. Write articles, that's quite obvious, right? And there's anything that is like from the red list that could be like pottery in general, because there's really like lots of missing information on Wikipedia about these arts from your local, and not just write the articles, but maybe as well to find the people who will translate the article to English, because in your local Wikipedias, of course, there the article can be because it's important for your culture, but there's missing information on English Wikipedia. So if you can check this during some workshop, if anyone from your community can check this and possibly add the information that this is as well listed in a red list for Southeast, or can be possibly listed in a red list.
Yeah, these four things that we mentioned, like take the pictures, write the articles, find the objects, and find the sources, are quite obvious for us, but for Wikipedians. But the goal of the project is to connect with professionals who are able to come with their professional point of view and our work, which is write this that we mentioned. And
So there are exhibitions, cultural institutions, upload them to Commons. Let's go next to fulfill the time. Thank you. Yeah, we use the hashtag tool because it can be the easiest one to use. So in the summary of your editation, if you add SE red list, you can as well follow the work of anyone else through this hashtag. And at Commons, there is already the category red list of Southeast European cultural object at risk. I mentioned that on the beginnings, and we have a project page that it's prepared already. Can we have a look?
I think that we don't have a time for that, but in the end, all of you will see a link that of the project page.
Yeah, I think if we can just like click on it, because this is the last. It's not. Okay, so let's go.
Yeah, so this is just about the things that we already done. We were collaborating and present in this on an ICOM conference in Prague. It was already mentioned. We create a project page. Now about the vision and what we should do.
So we are in the step 1. We are addressing national WM partners. It's you, hopefully. We already have some partners that we spoke to. We are looking for local coordinators. Again, I mentioned it doesn't necessarily be some devoted everyday work. You're just looking for someone who can be there and who can spread maybe the information, even if not, he can work individually. Then we are, of course, through you, interested in local involvement of the museums, because we can't get to your specific regions. And there we set up the cooperation with Crisis and GLAM already, because this is part of their scope as well. So we are like connected within the movement. And what we can do, we mentioned already, strategic support, cooperation with ICOM organizations, coordination of the projects with anything else. We will use Telegram group for brief communication with the Telegram group GLAM in Crisis, and Czech contact persons is Eva Vele in the first place, Gampe, our regional coordinator, and redlist.wikimedia.cz should get you into the meta page where there are all the information. Yes. That's it. No. Yeah. There is on the meta page. There is the contact list for person. So if you are anyhow interested, please sign in or send email to Eva, give your email here to me, to Jan, to anyone from Czech Republic. We will find you. And did I forget anything?
Yeah. I just want to say the next steps. So if this was interesting for you, if you want to help to this project, to spread it around the region and then later around the globe, just let's grab a coffee here together. Let's talk about it later today. Check the meta page, drop a line to Eva or later to me or Clara, and get in touch. And if you are interested in GLAM and cultural heritage and in Wikipedia, there's a project for you. And I'm really looking forward to the presentation on next CEE meeting about what we done in the last year together. All right, thanks a lot for your time. Nice to have you here. And
yes, sorry, question.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about these ICOM lists? Are they unified in all countries, and what information is given from each item?
Most of them are like based on certain region or specific country. They're supposed to be unified somehow, but I've seen just few of them, and most of them are. The items are online already, like on the list. This one is not yet because it's in progress. And I hope they are unified in the way how they've been collected, but it's like they work on that for a long time. It's with Ukraine, they try to push it up and speed it up because of the obvious reasons, but for the others, it was great in years.
As a question I would actually like to ask, isn't it just far more easier to let the ICOM itself approach for those professionals, and the only thing that we should be doing is actually just teaching those people to edit Wikipedia? Because we all know that existing Wikipedians are already working on the topics they love. And for instance, if some person loves to write articles about footballers, he or she is never going to write about those topics. It's always way easier to just find new people than to repurpose the existing ones.
Yeah, I don't know how regionally, but for example, ICOM in Czech Republic has one person, like in the office. So I think they don't have like this kind of network that we have. They doesn't have like thousands of people who can be interested in helping and who are able to work with this kind of information. I just really think that their work finished somewhere here. What they are doing, for example, is they doing the trainings for custom. And they're teaching them how to, but they are pointing, they have no place to point them out. They have no place to say, hey, if you have some specific ways, you know, in the suitcase of someone, you can look in here. They have no here or there. They have nothing like that, the referent source. And you won't teach custom how to understand art. It's much easier to call Wikimedia and say, hey, we already had like cooperation with you in the past, could you please help us in this field? That's what happened. And now let's find out if we can help in any way. And I still hope we can because, right? So yeah.
So is ICOM actually committing any funds to this, or Wikimedians who want to work on this need to fundraise on their own to make this sustainable for themselves?
It's our project. We have no funds yet, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we are not able to find them in the future. But we need to know if there's any interest, because if I get no contact from the region, because I will find out that my idea was just foolish and that you are not really like interested in this, or there are like certain obstacles that can be that are just in the way. So we just stopped the project. So sorry that we are so bold to come with you on this phase, but we have nothing else to go, right? And this is the initial idea this is our first this kind of project this big on this field internationally in the CEE region. So we are getting slowly next steps, and we are not promising anything. The only thing we can promise that we will do anything what's required on the side of project coordinators and even maybe fiscal sponsor in the future, but it's not so far it's not an issue, and we can of course like ask for grant in the future. It's not definitely out of the question, but for now it's like this.
As a part of a GLAM, we are working with our chapter GLAM budget. So there's a thing how we are covering expenses on our side, but mostly the highest expense of time. We didn't have any other expensive, and it's a part of our GLAM work. And I think that in the early beginnings and early stages of this project, it can be covered by the chapter grants for a field of a GLAM. Of course, but when it will become bigger and bigger, we will think how to raise funds, how to apply for grants, or for which grants to apply. But this is an early stage.
So I think the first step would be actually to see, okay, who is interested, who has what kind of capacities, and how this could be governed to be owned by the communities, and not to be like just a resource for ICOM to do the kind of work, but to be equal in this, that maybe ICOM takes some of the burden, maybe Wikimedia Czech Republic, Czechia, pardon, also is taking some other part, and then whoever wants to partner takes something else. Because I can imagine the complications of explaining this to institutions who already see Wikipedia as exclusively voluntary work, as non-professional work, sometimes really bad quality work, and work that they cannot control. So all of these things make it really complicated to communicate. Well, you have a different situation because you have institutions with whom you worked, and you have affiliate that's very formal. But for example, in these countries, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Croatia have no affiliates and have terrible reputation.
Yeah, and there I hope the ICOM will step up and like umbrella that's what they offered. So this was the answer to your question as well. And yes, and as I'm speaking as lunatic, sorry, but if you will talk to Eva and Gampe, they know what they are talking about, so you will have much more fruitful conversation with them than with, sorry, I'm just executive. But I know this from ICOM because I've been in touch with them several times from this point. They are very much interested in because they can see amazing potential because they are somehow stuck because they prepared the red list and now what?
I'm sorry, Clara, I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, I know.
You,
it's a break. It's a break already.
You should leave the room. The guys will be able to look at it.
It's a break.
Okay. Thanks a lot to everyone, and see you in the bar, and let's talk about it.